Hello, hello, good morning from KMTV. Welcome. This is Career Mondays. This is a show that comes to you every single Monday from 9 a.m. We talk about different careers, whether you're a politician, a businessman, a musician, mama mboga. This is the show for you. And today we have a young, energetic man, one of our very own, who is a project manager and an aspiring MCA. So we're going to be just engaging and understanding what does that career entail. Yeah, so thank you, sit tight, and thank you for joining us this particular morning. Karibu sana mheshimiwa.
Asante.
Yeah.
Asante.
On a Monday, this is a typical Monday. It's usually a very up and down day for most people. Yeah, is it the same case for you, or does it sound different?
Yeah, I totally agree with you that this is the beginning of a week, and you need to put your program together just to see how the week will run. And during this time, of course, it's campaign time, and we are the last stretch, so there's quite a lot for me. Yeah, so I have a very busy program ahead of me.
Oh wow!
Yes.
So what would someone find you doing on a typical weekend now in this particular season?
This particular season, we have a lot of meetings,
Alright.
going round, and again, sitting down with your strategic team, also meeting the people. You also need to, get to know how the social media is saying. You need to interact with social media. Yes, so these are kind of activities that I'm engaged with currently.
Well, you sound like a busy man. For someone who's listening to you for the very first time, who would you say you are, and what exactly do you do? Right from the horse's mouth.
Oh, okay, cool. Let me say this is a privilege to be part of you.
Welcome.
I'm so humbled to be here. So thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Sospeter G Mumbi, and I'm the one who is aspiring to be the MCA for ROYSAMBU.
Wonderful.
Sospeter, I'm known through a project called Muyok, that is a Maroroi United Youth Organization. This is a project that I founded back in 2003, but that's when it was conceptualized. But in 2007, it's when we formalized this particular project. Of course, this project is geared towards empowering our community and creating a platform where community issues can be addressed. I don't know whether this is the right time to really talk into details of what Muyog is all about.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned as a project manager, maybe you can just start helping us to understand, because this is a career show.
Yes.
We want to understand, what does a project manager do on a day-to-day basis? Yeah.
Okay. So let me begin by saying, when you're establishing a project, we have someone we call a vision carrier or a vision bearer.
Alright.
And even in a business, you cannot run a business without a vision carrier. This is someone who has the A to Z of that particular project. And the funny bit about project manager, to some extent, you need to see the beginning up to the end. And you also need now to rally people to see things in your perception. And the other bit I want to be clear on is that no one will ever spearhead your dream, or rather see things on your behalf.
All right.
So you're the one to rally them and convince them to begin seeing things in your own perception.
So what you're essentially saying is a project manager, one is visionary.
Yes. Must be a visionary.
Right.
Number two, someone who has a focus, and someone who is also determined, because you see, these are just a vision you're having. So bringing it into reality, again, that's where the journey now begins. And there are a number of nitty-gritties that are involved to bring that vision into reality. So one, we talk about you need to know who are you going to work with. You see, because along the way, as you convince people to rally behind your idea, you need to map out who are these people, who is going to work where. So it has a lot to do with mapping. The other thing is about what is required, you know, to do that work or to execute whatever plan that you have. So you need to map out internally what forces are required, or what energy is required internally. Externally again, what energies are required. And when you talk about external forces, so you're talking about opportunities that are out there. So within your locality, do you have people that you can bring on board? Do you have companies or resources that you can tap into, you know, locally? And then internally again, you talk about human resource, you know. So who are these people? What skills are they bringing on board, you know? So these are some of the thinking that revolve around project management.
Wonderful. You sound very well informed about this particular field. Is this something that you studied?
Yes, but the funny thing is that I don't know whether I should say it was an orthodox kind of approach in a way, because it started with a passion, you know, calling, you know, wanting to do that work. And then later on, I went to study, because I realized, yes, I need to do 1, 2, 3 because this is my passion. But then I realized at a given stage, I don't have the skills in a way. So I was pushed to go back to school. So when I was going to school, I was going to school because I'm learning that which I want to do.
Oh, you're passionate about it.
I'm so passionate about it. So so that's how I approached the whole thing. I didn't start like training first, or going to school, and then later on embarking on my career.
But you started as a passion.
Yes.
So the passion drove you to school.
Yes.
That is very interesting, because right now the unemployment rate has really increased. And what are some of the ways we can be able to address this? Because what I'm hearing from you is that you're passionate, you went to school, and then how are you able just to maneuver and encourage people who are maybe unemployed towards understanding and capitalizing on their passions?
Maybe this is something that we can pick from our education system to start with.
All right.
Most of the time, the discussion on career development begins around university. Most of the time, even high schoolers are not familiar, or they don't know which career they want to embark on.
Sure.
So probably we need now to track it from our education system. Maybe after primary. Before you join maybe even high school, someone needs to be oriented on all these careers, so that if you want to engage in journalism, so what does it entail? You want to embark on community development, what is it all about in a way? And I don't know whether the CBC, I feel like the CBC is going towards that direction, which is a good direction for our country. But again, where we are, and in particular for those people who have not been oriented in career development, I think it should start with an individual, and this has not been the case. Most of our young people have been directed to the various careers that they are engaged in by their parents, maybe by their peers. You know, they're influenced to join certain careers by their peers in a way. The other thing is about pay. Well, you know, what am I taking home? You know, so again, that is what is driving a number of young people into given careers. But then you realize once you step into that career, it's not out of passion, and that's why you walk into these offices and you come across an individual who is not ready to serve because this is not their area of passion. They are only in that career or they are in that field because they are pushed by their parents. They were advised by their peers. But then if now you begin to allow young people to decide and follow their passion, I think that will have long-term impact and effects to our economy and our service as a country, because you will be served by an individual who is happy to do that kind of work. It's like for my case, you know, there's a passion. Whenever someone comes to me and they want some assistance from my end, I don't see them as a bother. Yeah, whenever they come to me, it's an opportunity. You know, they've identified me among many people. So them settling on Sospeter, so that gives me some honor in a way. So and I'm so happy to serve them. But then that might be a different case for someone who has not, or who is not having that as a passion. Yeah. So these what I feel like our young people need to focus on. Follow their passion, not really the money that is coming with that particular field.
Right.
Yep.
That is quite interesting. I guess you're hearing that it's important for you to be able to understand your passion so that you can be able to capitalize that passion. Take your passion, package it, and that can be able to help you in this day career world. Yeah, you can go to school, as our honorable is saying, and then be able to understand more about that particular field. We're still in the conversation of you as a project manager. What are some of those tangible things that you have done as a project manager that people can be able to say, this is this, yeah, that can help even someone who is thinking on deciding about their ticket in MC in ROYSAMBU? Yeah, why, what is tangible and why Sospeter?
Okay. Yeah. Let me also enlighten viewers that you see, project manager management also depends on the particular field that you're in. When you talk about community development, this has to do a lot with the interest of the community. The interest of the community comes first before the individual's interest. In a company, they talk of giving an example with a production company. To some extent, they have a project, or rather product they develop, to market their company. Insurance, bring on board certain products, maybe housing, they talk about life insurance, those kind of things. Now, in community work, the product that you bring on board, these are projects tailored towards addressing particular issues within a society. So it comes with a lot of thinking. One, you try to do a research to establish what is ailing our community. For example, I talk about a project I established, that is garbage collection and the environment. I realized in our community, the community was developing and was growing, and that is the community of ROYSAMBU MCA in particular. And I saw now, if we are not able to put in place a clear structure that is going to manage our waste, then we might end up having a polluted kind of a community or environment. And that's how I came up to establish garbage collection. And further, I went ahead to organize community cleanup exercises. So every year, before 2020, before Corona that is, we'll organize 3 cleanup exercises every year. So that was meant to address that issue of environment. Number 2, in 2014, there were quite a number of cases of children dropping out of school, and these children were dropping out of school and engaging in antisocial activities. One of it being collecting scrap metal around the community, which would then they would go sell to get something to eat. They would also walk along USIU roads, Safari Park, around there, to borrow money from strangers, which again was putting them to some risk. And this precedent was not a good precedent for our community, because it is so a number of young children dropping out of school out of that peer pressure, because children coming from well-to-do family, or where parents were really struggling to provide for their families, but they were not really, or they were not all that needy. They were pushed to drop out of school by their peers, because they felt their peers had more privileges and freedom, to not to be under any law, any condition, because these are children who had dropped out of school. They were living in the streets, and there was a street community that was forming in Maroroi. And once I saw that time bomb, I realized we must do something. So in my field, I decided, okay, let me research and see why are these children out of school, and why is this number increasing day in, day out. I realized a number of them were not having food. This is a child who will leave home without breakfast. spend the whole day in school without anything to eat, and then coming back home, again the supper or dinner was not guaranteed. So I identified and I established that 15 children were genuine cases, and that's how now I began addressing, and I came I brought on board feeding program.
All right.
So through that feeding program, I was able to take these children back to school, and since 2014, we've been feeding 50 children at Mallory Primary. These are children who take food there, and I can tell you for a fact, we have we don't have the cases of children dropping out of school now. However, there are certain cases we don't dismiss that we still need to increase that number, because the number of children still require food.
So we have the garbage collection, we have the feeding program,
and then talk about computer training. Again, we are enlightening our young people through technology. We have online jobs, a project, we call it Workstation. A Workstation is a project that we put in place to engage young people on online jobs. We talk about hairdressing and beauty, that is a vocational training that we've also set up, that is meant also to, enhance opportunity for young people to engage in hands-on skills. So these are some of the projects that I've been able to come up with, and all these projects are geared towards addressing a given ill within our community. So community development has a lot to do with focusing on issues that are affecting our community, and then devising strategies and solutions to address such.
Right.
Yes.
So you as a project manager, what point did you come and realize, okay, now I've become a project manager, now I want to vie for a ticket as an MCA? What was that turning point, or what moment was that when you thought, I think this is the best move for me now?
Wow, that's a good one. When I got into community work, I have never had that thought of joining politics. Politics is not my thing. It wasn't my thing, I would say, in the past. But then, with my interaction in community work, the various concerns that are presented to my desk, day in, day out, issues touching on environment, issues touching on security, issues touching on water, issues touching on unemployment. They are quite a lot. Now some of these issues that they were out of my ability or out of my reach in a way. These are the issues that I couldn't address, and in community work, once a case is presented to you, it becomes your burden. And if you don't have a way of addressing it, it becomes a bother to you, and it can lead to stress. So I really got bothered when people would present concerns and issues to me, yet I'm not in a position to address their issues. This is one based on my current position. I'm only a project manager at Muyo. I don't have powers to someone. Maybe when you talk about education, I don't have that power to someone, people involved in the education sector. I also don't have powers to summon security officers on issues touching on security, matters touching on water. I'm not able to summon some of these duty bearers in a way. And I realized maybe if I'm able now to rise to the next position of becoming an MCA for ROYSAMBU, I'll have that power to represent these people, so that now whatever issues that there are, or whatever issues they are raising from the ground, I'm able to amplify them and lobby for them to be addressed by the various agencies and the government. So that's where now the connections come from, from community or from the project manager now to politics. Because I feel politics has a number of opportunities, connections that comes with our position. Because today, if for example I wanted to seek an appointment from, let's say, the Vice Chancellor of USAID, I think I'll only drop my letter at the gate. Maybe with the security guard for my letter to be presented to the secretary. And then from there they will tell me, Sospeter, yes, you have your contact here. We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
You know, that is the kind of communication that will be there. Having a big organization that is spreading wide but not going deep, I feel that's basically what has been happening with many organizations. They're able to spread wide. You know, they're able to serve maybe Nairobi County, maybe they are nationwide. But then when you try to establish how impactful their projects are to the community, you realize there is very little. You know, and that's why I'm a bit hesitant to go the NGO way, spreading wide. I want to go deep, touching lives and impacting lives. So with this in mind, that's why now I feel MCA is also somehow within that setup, that realm of community in a way, because I'm familiar with ROYSAMBU is a word. This is where I've been brought up. I have more than 20 to 30 years within ROYSAMBU. So this is an area that I'm familiar with, and I feel like as the next MCA, I'm in a better position maybe to address some of the ills that have been affecting our people. Yes.
Yeah, so as you on your MCA ROYSAMBU ticket, we hear you have a project called ROYSAMBU Youth One-Stop Center. What exactly is that, and what does it entail, and how is it going to benefit the ROYSAMBU people?
Okay, maybe before I talk about ROYSAMBU Youth One-Stop Center, because it's part of my manifesto, I have a broad and vast manifesto. But allow me to touch on three major items, because they're somehow intertwined in a way. Now, allow me to start with a project I'm calling ROYSAMBU Residents Association. That is one of the items that I want to implement within ROYSAMBU. ROYSAMBU Residents Association, I'm foreseeing an umbrella body that will bring on board all the residents associations within ROYSAMBU. One, I'm not killing the independence of existing resident associations, not at all. The only thing I want to do now is now provide them with a ground where they are able to address their issues collectively. And by so doing, I feel like they will be able to learn from one another. One association can be able to learn from the other. The other thing, there will be a unit of focus in a way, because these people will be able to focus together, a unit of purpose, if I may put it right, because they will be able now to establish how well they can work together to address issues that they have in common, or whatever commonalities they have, they are able to work on them. The other thing is that we will have more bargaining power. Because currently each association is working independently and trying to address issues that perhaps have a hand from another community or another resident association. By this I mean, looking at an area like Dome, maybe there are issues they are dealing with, but then if they come together with Maroroi, they are able to have a collective action in a way, and they are able to address those issues collectively. So I'm looking at that particular platform, umbrella body. Number two, I talk about ROYSAMBU Youth One-Stop Center. ROYSAMBU Youth One-Stop Center, I'm foreseeing a facility that will have a department on guidance and counseling. And I'm talking about guidance and counseling because today, with all the unfoldings in the country and in the world, talk about challenges in parenting, talk about challenges in marriages and relationships, talk about challenges in unemployment, talk about challenges on drugs, and many others. So when one is confronted with these challenges, how do they vent out? What do they do? So we don't have structures within our community that are meant to address that. And now I'm saying a facility that where people can walk in. You know, a young person who is depressed, who is undergoing mental health, you know, they can just walk in there and get free counseling services. So because we'll have counselors who are solely in charge, or rather employed by the MCA office to address those concerns. These will go a long way in addressing the issues of drugs and substance abuse, perhaps, because when you see the mushrooming of the wines and spirit, when you see cases of suicide, when you see cases of depressions around, you know, they have strings attached to that in a way. So I feel like having that department in place will go a long way in helping our people. Number two, we talk about drugs and substance abuse. With drugs and substance abuse, I'm looking at an office where these mama mboga can walk in and you know, speak themselves out and say, yes, I have this son of mine. I've called the uncle. The uncle has talked to them or has talked to him or her. The other thing, I've also tried to engage the pastor. I've tried to engage, I don't know, whoever, and the case is still not addressed. So what opportunities are there? So I'm looking at an office that will, one, help those that are already in addiction. Number two, we'll also have an office that will put structures of sensitizing young people on effects that comes with drugs and substance abuse. You know, because today I'm not, I can't remember attending or rather, you know, getting information on a forum that is meant to enlighten young people on drugs and substance abuse. During our time when I was young, I remember there was these, I can't remember, but there was this picture, story of someone who was taking tobacco and, you know, they had cancer and with these kind of years, you know, something that was very scary. And I still have that picture to date, you know. But then our young people are not oriented on such trainings today. And that's why you realize a bigger number is going into drugs in a way. And not the churches are not talking about it, or they only rather they are talking about it, but not doing nothing. They are not organizing trainings for that. They are not holding like community barazas to enlighten young people. They are not putting in place projects, you know, to engage young people. So little is being done to help our young people. Number three, on employment, I'm foreseeing a department that will maybe try to enhance opportunities for young people. By this I mean, I want young people within ROYSAMBU to register with ROYSAMBU Youth One Stop Center. Whether you're a primary dropout, whether you're a graduate, form 4 leaver, it doesn't matter. Go register with ROYSAMBU Youth One Stop Center. Once you register, beside your name, for those that are not aligned to any careers, tell us what you're capable of doing. For example, I'm Sospeter. I'm dropped to grade 4, but then I can do Njengo, kazi ya mkono. I'm also able to do, you know, car wash. I can work in a car wash. I can do serve people as a waiter or waiteress in a moderate kind of kiosk, food kiosk in a way. You know, I can do work as a shambo boy, this kind of thinking. My name is Jacinta, a class 8 dropout or a leaver. I can babysit. I can do laundry. I can do house help. I can do waiter. I can do couch. You know, this kind of thing.
So they just register with that?
Yeah, they register with that. Then I will have a different section of professions, those that are in career. Have you done nursing? Have you done accounting? Have you done plumbing? You know, I want to have them in a different category. So once we have that, we want to take these young people through a certain training. Because why our young people are not also able to secure employment is because they are selective to some extent. Some of them are not responsible enough. And I want to take them through a training that will package, that is in consultation with maybe people like Park University, they're good in leadership in a way, or USIU. We can package something for young people, maybe a training of 2 weeks, 1 month, that kind of a thing. So these young people will be taken to through that training to give them an identity. And when I talk about identity, I'm looking at a complete person. A complete person in the sense that they are responsible, someone whose integrity is unquestionable when it comes to etiquette, and they're self-motivated in a way. I'm looking at this kind of a young person, because when you talk about a young person, the traits of a young person, you're talking of someone who is energetic, someone who is innovative and very creative, and robust in their thinking. These are the kind of the identity of a young person. So we want to bring out such through this kind of training. Once we are done with that section, we'll be able to certify these people and then give them a number for that center. So we'll know this is Sospeter and his number is 0010 or that kind of a thing. Once I'm done with that, now, my responsibility is to connect these young people to employment. What opportunities lies ahead? Number one, I talked about ROYSAMBU Residents Association. I'll be able to walk to that organ and lobby. Ask them kindly, my people of ROYSAMBU. We have people from Dome, we have people from Karen Estate, Modaiga, Rejuis, these places. And these people run businesses. They run M-Pesa services, they have hotels, they have many businesses. So I'll try to lobby and request people, instead of looking for employees out there, outside ROYSAMBU, kindly, let's promote our ROYSAMBU Youth One-Stop Center. Give us your requirements. What are you looking for in terms of qualifications? Then we run our system or data to match the kind of your ideal employee. And then out of it, I see that as a fertile ground to connect young people to employment. Number two, we have people who are operating or companies that are coming up with businesses around ROYSAMBU. We have a petrol station around Maroroi stage. We have USIU hospital that is coming up under the leadership of Mrs. Jordan, that is mother to Michael Jordan. So with this facility, it has a number of opportunities that are awaiting. So how do we exploit that? So I want ROYSAMBU Youth One-Stop Center to explore on these opportunities. Again, I am looking at an office that will run through newspapers just to establish what opportunities are there, job vacancies are there. Is in the need to walk around, visit companies, market ROYSAMBU Youth One-Stop Center to see what opportunities we can create for our young people. And more importantly, again, I'm foreseeing companies coming from different places to ROYSAMBU to get people from ROYSAMBU Youth One-Stop Center, because we have quality young people and people who are well polished, to undertake whatever activities that are there or the opportunities that are there. So these are kind of setup I'm seeing. And the last one is now, how do you do that again? Because the question is, I might not be able to get facility or finances from the county government. So the question is, how do you sustain such projects? I'm looking at, and this is because of my field and my expertise. Leadership comes with resource mobilization. How well are you able to mobilize resources locally, internationally, and anywhere else? So I want to tap into the local resources that are there within ROYSAMBU. This project is in that idea. I'm calling it ROYSAMBU Stakeholders Forum. So with ROYSAMBU Stakeholders Forum, I'm foreseeing the various business opportunities or business people that are within ROYSAMBU. We talk about Windsor, talk about Hoplis, talk about Braeburn, talk about St. Gabriel as a church, Gateway, PCA Gateway as a church. You talk about Safari Park, you talk about Roston, you talk about Mountain Mall, you talk about TRM, you talk about USIU, Park University, as in there are immense opportunities within ROYSAMBU. So these people have CSR and they work independently. How about pulling their resources together into one pool? And then now we have even the banks that are within ROYSAMBU. We have Equity, Cooperative, and Alliance. So instead of each a company or institution working independently, how can we bring our force together and then formalize that structure? We call it ROYSAMBU Stakeholders Forum. So that whatever kitty they bring, we can now sit down and agree. How are we going to use this kitty? What activities are we going to support for our young people? And now the idea of training on reproductive health, supporting young people with soft loans, with the likes, these are discussions that now can revolve around that stakeholders forum. So these are some of the ideas I want to bring into ROYSAMBU, because I think the last leadership or the current leadership has focused more on doing the normal one. We've been confined to a normal leadership where we only talk about street lights, we talk about bursary, we talk about roads. But then this is so basic for our people. I think now we want a leadership that is thinking beyond the normal, beyond roads, and a leadership that is speaking to the lives of people, a leadership that is speaking to the aspirations of young people. These are young people who have ideas, they have dreams they want to realize. So as a leadership, what structure are you putting in place to help these young people realize their dreams in life? So I think these are kind of the style of leadership I want to bring on board to ROYSAMBU people.
Wonderful. You're coming out to become, to sound more strategic and very visionary and innovative, and bringing a new style kind of leadership on board. And we understand that resources have to be used. We've heard about your stakeholder kind of setup that is helped to fund this. We understand that CDF funds, they are also used or channeled towards this particular path to just enable the community to become more vibrant. But the MCAs have been known to mishandle these particular funds. What is different about Mr. Sospeter?
Okay. Maybe I might enlighten you a bit because currently we don't have a kitty that is given to MCAs. CDF comes with the office of the MP. However, with a good MP, you are able to sit together as MCAs and maybe consult with the MP and agree on a collective, formality on how you can execute or rather use that kitty to develop the entire constituency. Because remember, we are under ROYSAMBU constituency, and ROYSAMBU constituency has it has like 5 wards. That is ROYSAMBU, Githurai, Kahawa West, and Zimmerman. So if you have a good MP, an MP who is ready to listen, an MP who is ready to consult in a way, you can sit down, with the MPs, the representatives of the various wards together with your MP, and then agree on a formula that you can use to carry out development through CDF. But then I totally agree with you that we have immense opportunities under the CDF kitty, if well spent and with good consultation. And it's my prayer that as I rise to that position, that we'll try to convince and perhaps try to work with the MP to see how well we can tailor, a product that is beneficial to our young people. Because as we speak today, I'm not familiar with something that has come out clear to address the needs and the concerns of young people under the CDF kitty. Maybe independently a few products here and there, but then I'm talking about something collective, something that can be done in ROYSAMBU, can be done in Zimmerman in a way, something collective to support our young people. So I look forward maybe to working closely with our MP. But CDF present us with a very fertile ground to address some of these concerns of our young people. Yes.
Now, what I'm also coming to understand is that you are now vying for an independent seat, and we understand that if you're on a popular seat, you would have more impact. But what is your take on, especially to our viewers, they want to know, why is this guy going for an independent seat with the kind of vision that he has?
Yes. Yeah, that's a very good question. That's a very good question. No, in 2017, which was my first time to go into politics, I ran on an independent ticket. and I emerged second, or I came position 2 out of 8 candidates, and it was my first time. This time round again, I feel like I still want to go independent. I still want to go independent. I know it's not easy going independent, and in particular because of the orientation, the political orientation of the country. People are not familiar with the independent candidature. Now, one, because I'm hesitant to fall, or rather follow, a system that has failed to deliver in the past. And as I step into this position, I claim to be the change that people want to see. But then, if I claim to be the change that people want to see, and I'm following the same footstep, or rather following the same system that has failed, then how different am I from the rest of the people who have been there before me? So that's why I'm a bit skeptical, or I was a bit skeptical to go through a party. Those of us who are familiar with the Kenyan politics, we know Kenya, the parties are owned by individuals in this country. And that's how Kenya has been organized. People are, have been grouped in different parties in a way. And now these parties have their masters. So it's their masters who sit together, maybe like 10 masters, and agree on who is who, or who is going to occupy a certain seat, who is going to be the cabinet minister, where, that kind of a thing. So these are the people who have the discussion of the country, in a way. And now, if you follow that system, you're not independent. You remain under their masses, and you don't have that freedom of mind. And let me tell you, a human being has a lot to do with their thinking, that freedom of mind. The minute someone holds captive of your mind, then you're no longer that person. And that's why I was a bit afraid to go through a party, because I felt if I go in and succeed, but under a party, then I'll be under someone's conditions, under someone massive. And anytime I want to speak or speak my mind, then someone has to adjust me in a way. My volume has to be adjusted by someone. And I don't want to be that kind of a person. I don't want to be a puppet of someone. So I also want to set a precedent in ROYSAMBU, because they've never had an independent candidate. All along, they had people coming from the party. And these people who have been coming, they've elected from parties. To some extent, they've failed to deliver, to the expectation of the people. Or their style of leadership cannot be compared to that of an independent candidate, because, as I said, independent candidate comes with freedom of mind. So I feel like yes, ROYSAMBU has voted people from party in the past, and they've been disappointed. Now this time round, I'm telling them, you people, try an independent candidate, someone who has a freedom of mind, and they are going to bring a new style of leadership. So again, that's why I want to go independent, and more importantly, also tell the young generation that it's not a must you align yourself to a party for you to go into politics or join politics. No. You only need to present your manifesto. Uza sera yako. People will listen to you, because independent candidates are not cowards. These are people who are self-motivated, people who are brave enough to speak their ideas, and are ready for people to, give their verdict in a way, because that's what democracy is all about. I can only share my manifesto, tell you what Sospeter has done, because again, I have a track record. You cannot run on an independent candidate without a track record, I tell you. And without ideology. You must have those. Failure to that, I tell you, just go to the party. That's where people hide behind parties, because they don't have ideas. So for independent candidate, these are people who have ideas and they have a track record, because that's basically what we want to sell to our our people. So that's why I'm running as an independent candidate. However, I know I had pressure, and many people had approached me, asking me, "It's Sospeter, and this was after even the deputy president visited Maroroi, and he called for my name like thrice. You know, unfortunately, I wasn't around by then. Okay, of course, not by choice. It was just by default that I wasn't around. But then even my wife, you know, they even tried to reach me through my wife because they had tried to convince me to join a party. Hey, no, join this party too. But then I always am this one person who likes to follow his heart. You know, I have my standards, and I don't like being swayed by what the external forces there. I listen to my heart, I talk to my God, and then out of it, I'm able to make my choice. So that's why I'm running as an independent candidate, and I'll be the first independent candidate in the history of ROYSAMBU. Yeah, and ROYSAMBU is a constituency. ROYSAMBU has never had an independent candidate as a constituency in all the wards, and ROYSAMBU is a ward. So I'll be the first one. So I'm looking forward to making history in ROYSAMBU.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, my fellow viewer. We are talking about careers. This is Career Mondays. It comes to you every single Monday from 9 a.m. Today we have had a very interesting guest who has been able to shed light on his journey as a project manager and now aspiring MCA for ROYSAMBU. He says he has a track record, he has the ideas, he has a strategy, and he has a plan, he has a vision for ROYSAMBU. So if you're there and maybe someone who's listening to you, and what kind of support can they give you as a aspiring MCA for ROYSAMBU?
One of the things they can support me with, I am a believer, and being a believer, I believe in God, and even being alive today, and having the calling that I have, and getting to where I am, it has taken the hand of God, and it's all about prayers. So I want to send my viewers to go on their knees and remember me in their prayers, because that is one, and it's the secret to any success. Number two, I want to send my viewers. I'm not able to reach each and every person. So you're out there. You have your job colleagues. You also have people you interact with. You have friends. The plot that you live, if you are a tenant, you interact with the fellow tenants in a way. Kindly help me reach out to those people by talking about my name. Talk about Sospeter. You've heard me, what I've been able to do. Kindly spread the gospel. Talk to them about Sospeter. And lastly, your vote is more than important. Remember me when it comes to 9th of August. I'm requesting for their votes, and I'm requesting for your vote as a viewer. Kindly vote for Sospeter. I don't know whether this is the end, but you know, this is my...
Actually, I wanted to ask you about it. I was like, let's talk about for a minute about this particular code, because I've been seeing it for a minute. Tell us a little bit about that code, by the way.
Now, this is my trademark.
Oh, wonderful.
This is my trademark, and my symbol, if I may put it right. With the parties, parties have their identity. So if you want to talk about Sospeter and being an independent candidate, I saw this code being the best way to create my trademark.
And it looks good on you.
Yes. So when I dress, I put on this coat, automatically people know, oh, that is our MCA.
We'll have a supply for it, because some of us here, I'm seeing the guys on studio, they look
I'm looking forward to doing a number so that, you know, I'm able to popularize it.
All right.
And again, this is the same symbol that will come across on the ballot paper.
All right.
My passport on the ballot paper has this code. My symbol is this code. Banners, this code. Today, here, I'm having the interview. This one. So mwanza kuzoea MC wenyu mapema. Mwanza kuzoea MC wenyu mapema. So I'm requesting my viewers, or the viewers, kindly I'm requesting for your vote. The ballot paper will be number 4. Number 4. So usitafute mbali sana, and then look at this code. Sospeter G Mumbi. Na naomba kura yako sana zaidi.
Alright. Alright, we've come to the end of our show. The show has been Career Mondays. I've been your host, Miss Makandi. And any last remarks, Mheshimiwa?
Yes. My last remarks. I think I should put this in Swahili. I feel like I want to do it in Swahili.
Go right ahead.
Because I wanted to speak, in particular young people.
Yes,
Nyinyi vijana na Wakenya kwa jumla. I know we've had this discussion, and if I gave you an opportunity to ask me questions, najua wangeweza kuuliza, na Sospeter uko juu uko wapi? Tunaenda wapi? No, mimi sitakupatia stories za uko juu. Mimi nataka kuongea hapa chini, because these are the people who matters to you. Ule msee atakuja kutengenezea barabara, ule msee atakuja ku enhance opportunities zako za employment, ule msee atakuja ku address issues za health mahali uko. While I appreciate the hand that comes with presidency, it has a lot to do with your MCA. MCA ndio kitu ya maana sana na MP wako. Kwa sababu president atatoa pesa. Na pesa itakuwa channel kwa county government. Sawa. County government zitapewa pesa. Alafu hiyo pesa iwe decentralized. Vile itatumika ni MCA wako. Zile mahitaji anapeleka, zile mswada anapeleka kwa county assembly ni MCA wako. Sasa ukichagua MCA maembe, utakaa na hiyo maembe yake for the next 5 years. Lakini ukichagua MCA smart, hata huko juu mchague kitu ingine, ile kitu ingine yote mtachagua huko kwa president, wewe hata hutaijua kama kuna shida huko juu. Kwa sababu MCA wako ako hapo na anafanya nini? Na anafanya kazi. So tafadhali, as we continue discussing on that subject of president, please, let's put more emphasis and focus on the people on the ground, and that is your MCA. Huyo ndio kila kitu. So thank you very much. I know round hii hakuna mambo ya chama, usiamue mambo ya suti. Wewe mara ya mwisho ulivalia suti ni lini? Sasa hizi mtu anakuja kukuambia uvalie suti. Hiyo mambo ya suti muache. Chagua mtu. Track record. Kama sijakuwa nikifanya kitu, let me not lie to you that nikiingia nitakufanyia kitu. Sawa. So guys, really smart. Thank you very much, and God bless you. I love you.
Yeah. Sasa, you have talked very well to our young viewers, and you've been able to address quite an interesting issue. But something is coming out. MCA wakichaguliwa wao wanapotea. Simu unajaribu kupiga apatikani. Unaelewa? Akiongea ameuza sera.
Yes.
Akiingia kwa kiti unapiga simu, nowhere to be found. Sasa huyu Sospeter ndio anaitisha kura. Atapatikana?
Good. I was hesitant to go that direction, but it's good you brought it out. Now, let me just iron it out. That is very simple. One, my viewer should understand that hii kiti ya MCA ni kiti ya kusumbuliwa. Hii ni kusumbuliwa hii. By the way, shida za watu ndio wataletea wewe mashida. Now for Sospeter, I have a track record of 15 to 20 years in community work. Cases zile nimekuwa nikishika ama nikireceive kwa desk yangu. Cases touching on, nimefukuziwa sijui pesa ya exam, ya corporate exam, nimefukuziwa pesa ya tuition Sospeter, nimefukuziwa mzazi sisi tumefukuzwa kwa sababu ya pesa ya PTA 500, tumefungiwa nyumba, hizo mtoto wangu amefukuzwa shule, sijui nimepeleka mtoto pale hospitali na sina pesa, so sijui tunada these are the cases I've been dealing with. 15 to 20 years.
Yes,
Na nimekuwa hapo, na sijapotea. Sasa nikiingia MCA, kwani ni nini nyingine naletewa mpya kuliko hiyo? The only thing itakuwa ni cases tu zitaongezeka kidogo tu. na mandate kwa sababu sasa cases za security nitakuwa expected ku deal nazo kama ni huko Muthaiga North, kama ni huko Garden State, maji kileta shida, kuwe na shida ya stima na nini, vitu kadhaa. So maybe another a higher level of discussion ndio itakuja. In the past, ROYSAMBU ward, they have never elected someone who has been engaged in community work before rising to becoming an MCA. And that's why they've had those cases. And Kenya in particular. Kenya yote, watu wanachaguanga watu wametoka kwa biashara zao. Mtu ametoka kwa kichaka, amekuja nataka kuwa MCA, nataka kuwa MP. Hajai fanya kitu yote ya community, hajai changanyikana na community, ndio jue shida zao. The minute tumekalia hiyo kiti ya MCA, the expectations that comes with that position zinakuwaka juu sana. Na watu wanakuja wanaleta mashida wanakuletea. Sasa ni wewe Kendi, haujai fanya kazi na hao. Umekuwa kwa biashara yako, wewe unauzanga tu customer wako unaenda nyumbani. Sasa umeingia kiti ya MCA ama MP. Ndio hizo masimu. Mheshimiwa, sasa mimi niko hapa, nimefungiwa nyumba. Mheshimiwa, mtoto wangu amefukuzwa shule. Mheshimiwa, sijui ukiletea hizo shida, you are like mimi hapana, this is too much for me. Because you are not familiar with that ground. This is not your calling. So that's why unapatana mtu sasa ile kitu anafanya anapandisha kio ya gari. Sasa huwezi muona tena na ana keep off the ground. Sawa anapotea kabisa, hataki kuonekana huko. That is number one. Why waheshimiwa wamekuwa kipotea, na ni kwa sababu mnachagua watu ambao hawajakuwa kifanya kazi ya community and they don't have that calling. So Sospeter is a bit different. Mimi simu hii nitachukua. Simu nitawachukulia. Hiyo you can hold me accountable. Na mtakuwa mkiniona hakuna mahali naenda. Maybe the last one ni kwamba tukifanya siasa, Kenyan politics inatumiaga pesa sana. Na wanasiasa wengi sana wanatumia pesa ku campaign ndio waingie. Yangu ni a bit different kidogo. As far as finances utatumia za ku popularize ama kuweka banners, posters and the likes, you know. I don't have your pesa ya kupeana personally. Sina pesa hiyo ya nini. And then again, I don't want to get corrupt from the word. Kwa sababu iko kubribe kupatia kitu. Sasa mnaanza kunicompromise nini? Mnaanza kunifanya mtu mbaya. Na ndio maana Sospeter anakataa kwenda kwa chama kwa sababu hataki hiyo system ya corrupt people, corrupt leaders is what Sospeter is against. So ndio najaribu kupotelea hiyo. Na hiyo ndio imefanya wanasiasa wengi wakikuja kwa ground. Kazi ni kudish out pesa, handouts, nini because they don't have any idea. Sasa huyo mtu akiingia hamwezi muona tena. Kwa sababu yeye anajuanga ground nikienda ni pesa tu anatakanga. Na sasa kwa sababu nimechukua kiti, nimenunua kiti kwa sababu niliwapea pesa na wamenipatia kiti. Sasa nigoja miaka 5 niende ninunue kiti tena kutoka kwao. So that's why they will never work for us. They will never work for you people. So I think Kenyans need to mature politically na tuache hii mambo ya kuitisha wanasiasa pesa. Kwa sababu hiyo ina create bad blood between politician na wananchi. Yeye politician akiingia anaona hapana, watu sitaki stories zao. Watu niliwapea pesa ndio wakanipatia kiti. So I'm not your servant. I bought that position. And that is the mindset of many politicians, or Kenyan politicians. So ataenda accumulate wealth, anajua miaka 5 ikiisha. Sasa hizi pesa ndizo nitawapelekea. So yeye kazi yake si kufanya nini, kuwafanyia kazi, ni kuaccumulate ile pesa, atakuja kuwapatia handouts. Na hata wapatia pesa mingi, ni hizo 100, 200, ile atabakisha ndio mingi. So hiyo ni kitu kingine inafanya wanasiasa wakiingia amepotea kabisa kwa sababu alinunua kiti na mmemaliza biashara yake na nyinyi wananchi iliisha kwa sababu aliwapatia pesa na amechukua na nyinyi mkampatia kiti. So muonane after 5 years mfanye biashara tena. And that is what has been happening. So mimi sitaki kuwapotelea na ndio maana hii mambo ya pesa tuache tafadhali. Sisi tuko tayari kuwafanyia kazi. Yes.
Right, we're having a very interesting conversation and unfortunately it is coming to an end. Maybe your last words on what Wajakoya's manifesto economy and how can it work for the Kenyan climate as we conclude. Can it work? Actually, can it work at the 24-hour economy work for the Kenyan climate?
Yeah, 24-hour economy is a good idea for a country. But of course now looking into issues of security, issues of power. Again, how empowered or how ready are we to to have power throughout in terms of street lighting. I think 24-hour economy is something that should have been implemented like even yesterday by the government. But then I don't want to delve more on the subject of Wajakoyo and other politicians, the other presidential candidates in but I feel like what is good for this country. I think I'm only keen on a new style of leadership, a leadership that is going beyond the norm. Much of what we've had from the presidential candidates is something that we're used to. The question is, where is this political goodwill to implement that which you have planned to do? Because what is lacking in this country, we have enough laws. In fact, we don't, for me, if I may be asked, at this point in time, we don't need to have any additional laws. We only need to focus on what we already have and implement it to the latter. And that is the goodwill that is lacking. When it comes to service delivery, that is something that we need to improve on. Our Kenyans, our citizens, are not accessing service delivery. Go to the hospitals, people are still agonizing, sharing beds. A lot is happening. So I think we only need now a leadership that is going on the ground and a leadership that is now living that life of common mwananchi. Mtu tu anaenda pale kama unaona the Michuki style. The Michuki style is the kind of leadership that we want in this country. And because he had that political goodwill, anaenda kama niyo matatu, anaenda kwa barabara, anafuatilia unafanya nini na mwananchi anapitia nini. Hiyo ndio leadership Kenya imekosa. Wanaongelea tu kwa ofisi tu, and after with these good ideas, good laws, you cannot just try as a project manager. I don't trust my I appreciate that my team is working with me, but I am there to monitor. Nikisema kitu tumepitisha, nafaa kwenda ground kuangalia kweli hiyo kitu imefanyika na inasaidia wananchi vile tunasema. I think this is the kind of leadership inahitajika. But these guys are more they're confined pale juu tu, wanaongelea tu kwa ofisi. So hata hizi dreams mzuri wako nazo hazisaidii wananchi kwa sababu wajui wananchi wanapitia. And until you go on the ground, that's when you will know what people are going through. Kenyans are suffering. Kenyans are suffering. So this is the style of leadership that maybe I would encourage. Wakiongea hizi vitu mingi watafanya. Look at the current laws. What do they say? The policies that we have in the country, implement them to the latter, follow up and ensure they are being implemented to the latter.
Right.
Go.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa, thank you for making time for us this particular day. You can share your social media handles, you can let the audience know where they can be able to find you and how they can be able to reach you. And I hope you're coming back again here.
Yeah, more than ready to come back. Yeah, just feel welcome to invite me another day on a different subject or whichever subject that you feel I'm well placed to to address. I'll be more than willing.
And by the time you're coming, we need those jackets. Yeah, we need to.
Yeah, provided it's during this time of campaign, because it's something that I will put on after 5 years.
All right.
Yeah, but what I'm wearing today is something that I had in 2017. Right. So after the campaign, zinarudi tu kwa wardrobe. Zinakaa hapo zinangoja campaign nyingine.
Right.
Yeah. So my social handles, one, you can find me through Facebook. Facebook najitanga Sospeter G Mumbi. Sospeter G Mumbi. At Twitter ni @sosmombi. @sosmombi. Instagram ni again @sosmombi. @sosmombi again. Yeah. So yangu tu sosmombi utanipata kila mahali. Sawa. Yeah.
Alright. So thank you so much, my dear viewers, for making time for us here at Career Mondays. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our show this particular day, but thank you again for just tuning in. Until next Monday at 9 a.m., it's a wrap from us. I've been your host, Miss Makande. Thank you.